Vientiane has quite a young population. The whole country isn't that large anyway. But I imagine that the many young people who are international travelers coming here would enjoy the ambience very much, especially when they find in Vientiane that there's quite a coffee culture too. Many, many nice little restaurants dotting sidewalks here in the capital, Vientiane. What's the first impression of the atmosphere here in Vientiane?
It's nice, very laid back. Yeah.
Very touristy as well though.
Yeah.
Oh, you find it a little touristy, do you?
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah. So we're trying to get away from it.
And you know that the city and the country has a French background as well, partly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can feel it still, don't you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very much.
definitely in the architecture.
Yes. It's good that they have a program like that, the preservation of Lao manuscripts. Apparently it's a cooperation between Laos and Germany. I don't know how far back they would go, but anything to do with history is always of value. But this town, which has been here in some sense for hundreds of years, has also had very, very long periods when there was virtually nothing here as the result of invasion from you know where. The building itself is really very charming and obviously from the French era with its shutters and the whole style of the building, but it's one of the great charms of this town, Vientiane. Quite a few of them are in very good condition too. As you walk along a beautiful boulevard like this one here, there are very old trees giving lots of shade, wonderful buildings, some remnants from the past. There's a fantastic stupa which I think is to be seen. And as it happens, it's overlooked by a really old villa mansion that hasn't yet been restored. So you get a nice mix of the different eras of occupation of Vientiane, which is now the Lao Democratic Republic capital of Laos. It's quite usual to hear Vientiane described as a small town, which I suppose it still is, but it's becoming increasingly vibrant. And if you look around as well, it's interesting to see examples of great long white walls behind which have been fabulous villas. It's clear that over a good many decades, there's some people, the lucky few I guess, have lived extremely well here, behind walls that wouldn't be out of place in Beverly Hills or Turak. This particular long white wall surrounds the compound that contains the presidential palace. Just there. It's a very elegant setting, and it's right beside one of the most important wats in the country, Wat Sisaket, which is beautifully kept, and both are at the head of the long, broad avenue that leads to the Victory Monument. What had you heard about Laos before you got here?
It's a beautiful country. It's our neighbor. It's our neighboring country, but never had a chance to visit.
That applies to both of you,
Yes.
doesn't it? Yeah. Do you live in Bangkok?
Yes.
Even as old as it is, this Wat Sisaket has a very well-documented history. It's known, for example, that what turned out to be the last king of Vientiane, King Anu, ordered that its construction begin in 1819. It was finished in the 1820s. Not long before a terrible invasion, and the Siamese razed the city. However, the Wats survived not only that catastrophe, but the centuries that followed, during which there was much turmoil, to be here today. Wat Sisaket, the most famous Wat, no doubt the oldest too in this part of Laos. One thing that is very different about being in Laos is the currency. Yes, they have the kip here, which is entirely their own Laotian money, and they deal in thousands, even tens of thousands, but you're not as wealthy as you may feel briefly because it doesn't add up to all that much. For example, if you take a 20,000 and a 10,000 kip note, these two notes are probably worth a little over 100 baht or something like that. Thai money is very acceptable here in Laos, but once you run out of it, you'll find that it's down to kip. It's very hard to come by Thai money here without going to great lengths. The ATMs that are operated by some Thai banks issue kip. The other most unusual thing is there's no coinage here. It seems to be just the notes. It must be one of the few countries anywhere that doesn't have any kind of coin. So you're not weighed down by them at least, but you will be weighed down by all of these notes. This wonderful big boulevard is the center of Vientiane in Laos. It runs from the presidential palace all the way to this point and is known as Lan Xang Avenue. It's very important that it reaches this roundabout because this too is an area to be celebrated. This is the Victory Monument. The Laotian people had it constructed after they freed themselves from many, many years of colonization by France. Strangely enough, it is sometimes considered to be influenced by the Arc Patuxai. Seems unlikely if they're freeing themselves from their colonizer, but it is a great arch in the tradition of such structures that goes back a couple of hundred years, no less. This one has very strong Asian influences as well, perhaps even Indian influences. So much art and culture comes from that part of the world into the rest of Asia, and it's known as Phat That, more popularly Victory Monument in English. You can not only enter it, but you can go right up to the very top of it. Well, it's a few floors to get here. Some nice staircases. A lot of people using it too. This is a very big attraction. It comes as a surprise to find out that this structure, this Victory Monument, was never fully completed. However, a great deal of it exists, as you can see, and will be here for all time. One thing that is also here for all time, the view of the fabulous boulevard. Hello, so many Lao people here on the riverbank. Nice to see another foreigner.
Yeah, because that's the reason I'm here, to be between the Laosians.
Oh, I see, yes. But you're
Because
standing
besides-
alone?
Oh yeah, I'm checking it out. Maybe I come later back with my wife in October and on the way to Australia, make a stop over here.
Are you on your first visit to Laos?
Yeah. I've been living in the area here, but never been to Laos, so this is a first for me.
It's a very pleasant place to visit, isn't it?
Oh sure, yeah.
Would you come back?
Oh sure, yeah. I think it's, the people are very relaxed. They are friendly, and they look in your eyes. Not like Indonesia, where they never look into your eyes. And they're open, and so that's different.
These are amazing river works along the side here. That surprised me. They seem to be rebuilding nature a bit, don't they?
Yeah, we were. What did you say it reminded you of?
That reminded me of a city in, like it was Ukraine, Odessa,
Oh, yes.
which has a really big promenade as well.
I see. Well, it might well be influenced by somewhere like that. But I think here they probably over the years had a flooding problem. I think they needed to build it up as well to
Okay.
stop that. But it's a fantastic river, isn't it? You love the Mae Kong?
Yeah,
We do.
it's nice.
Especially in Luang Prabang.
Right, well, Luang Prabang is hard to beat.
Hang on.
Leaving Laos on the other side of the bridge now is perfectly straightforward. The usual checks, of course, no balances, and then some transport that's inexpensive, either a big bus with a lot of other people or maybe a private van. It's a very easy trip back across this marvellous bridge, which kind of started it all. For years, millennia probably, there's been traffic across the water between the two nations, but this has really changed things, this and the other bridge at Mukdahan. As you can see, the river is actually very low at the moment, broad and all as it remains. In fact, children seem to be able to virtually walk out to the middle of it. And while the water is low, the Thais, ever with a sense of fun, make the most of these shores here, with a market, of course, music, and big old tyres for the children to play on. It's a fun playground until the rains come and the river again fills up. If you are staying in Nong Khai for a night or two after returning from a trip to Laos, remember that there is some fine accommodation here, and it's virtually all right on the river. The newest boutiques are really delightful, and if you linger a little while here, I think you'll be very glad you did. As a means of ending a delightful trip to the country of Laos.